Yo, pause. I'm even thinking like, you know what? Let me not even name drop. Let me not. But honestly, bump that. Like, why is it that people screw us over and it's like, oh, like let me not say anything because, you know, who gives a fuck? Like, I was young, I was eager, I was naive, I was pressed, I was desperate, and that is just a recipe of disaster. Okay. Hey guys, so today I'm gonna do a story time, and this story time is gonna be on how I moved to a new city for a job just to get ghosted by said job. Okay, so some of y'all might be here from my short, and some of you might have even seen my TikTok. If you follow me on TikTok, it's Sunshine Universe. Um, so yeah, so I'm gonna make this story time like as short as possible to try to get straight to the point. But of course, I gotta, put in some details to make it fulfilling, okay? So, here is the backstory. This was around my college year. So, this was when I was a sophomore going into my junior year of high school. So, this incident occurred the summer going into my junior year of college. But it all started my sophomore year. And what I mean by it started my sophomore year is um, I went to film school. So I went to NYU. And I studied film. And so I really wanted to branch out and, tap into the creative space. I wanted to be able to get some internships, get some hands on experience because I mean, at the end of the day, like that's the most important thing when you are in any industry. Like you want to get like hands-on experience, you want to connect with people, you want to travel. And I'm originally from the DMV, but NYU is in New York. So I was like, okay, like I want to be able to travel to like other cities and be able to connect with other people and branch out. So at the time, like this is my sophomore year, I'm like I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm trying to do exactly in the film space. I'm really into fashion. I'm really into fashion. I'm really into the aesthetics. So I'm like, I want to do something that is along the lines of fashion, but also too like I'm open to anything else. Something that I know that I would genuinely enjoy, and something that I did have fun doing while I was in school was set design. So, I'm scrolling, utilizing my resources, looking through social media, trying to see who's like in the film space. And I come across this woman's page. She has a production company and she does set design. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me DM her. Let me reach out to her and let me ask her if I could intern with her, because again, like I'm really interested in being able to get hands-on experience and travel, like get hands-on experience, travel, network, and yeah. So I DM'd her, and mind you, she was doing big things. Like she was working with like high celebrities, like up there, doing commercials. She does set design. And I say does in present tense because she's still active. Um but anyways, so yeah, she works with like high clientels, like people that are like really really up there. And so her portfolio is like solid, so I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna like reach out to her and like ask her if I can work with her. So she responded to me. I was like, oh, sucky now, okay. So I'm like, okay, so she actually responding. Okay, so I'm like, thank greatness, like we're getting some motion. So her number is like, like on Instagram, like a person like can have their number in their contact, like set in their contact. And so her number was there. And so I called her and I was like, hi, my name is Sunshine. Like I go to NYU. I would really love to like be able to intern for you during this coming summer and, you know, get some hands-on experience, da 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 da. And she was like, oh my god, yeah, like I would totally love to have somebody. I would really love to like intern somebody, and definitely just let me know when you're. She's based in Atlanta. Just let me know when you're down here, and I'll hook you up. Like, you'll definitely be able to work with me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, bet. So, mind you, this is like around November, December of 2021. Okay. So, November, this is like winter time, end of the year, 2021. Let's just say December 2021. So, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, like, summer is right around the corner. I got to do everything in my power to make sure that I go to Atlanta to work with this lady. Okay. So, so I spoke to her on the phone. Spoke on the phone, and she's like, okay, yeah, I would definitely love to have you. Just let me know when you're down here. Bet. Now, the thing is, I do know some people that live in Atlanta. Granted, at the time, like, I wasn't super close to the people that lived there, but of course, it was like, if I need a place to stay, I could reach out to them. I did reach out to a friend of mine, and she was staying with her. I forgot who she was staying with. I think she was staying with her aunt, and so in Atlanta, and then also like my aunt, or like a family friend. She's like an auntie, but she's really a family friend. She also lived in Atlanta, and there was also it was like several people, but long story short, I was thinking like, oh, okay, maybe I can reach out to these people to like stay with them. And it was just kind of like, but I was like, it's whatever. So throughout that time from like, let's say January, right? Because during winter, it was winter break. So once I got back on campus, January, from winter all the way to literally like April, because the school year ends in May. So basically all the way from January to April, I was working. Every paycheck I saved so that way I could get an Airbnb, because I was like, you know what, let me get an Airbnb, and that way I'm only going to be in Atlanta for the summer for 3 months. And honestly, like, I can try to look for an affordable Airbnb, and especially since I'm going to be working, like the money that I make will go towards staying in an Airbnb, and being able to take care of myself, eat, all that stuff. And mind you, like, I was already doing that kinda, because I was staying on campus. I was still staying in housing. So I had the experience of being able to buy my own meals and cook for myself, and stuff like that, but not like my own place to stay. But I was like, I could make it work. Like, I just gotta look for an Airbnb, and I'll be good. So literally second semester, all I could think about, oh my god, I'm going to Atlanta, girl. I'm about to go to Atlanta. I'm going to be working with and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna name drop. But we'll name drop, but let's focus on the story. So I'm like, I'm gonna work with such and such girl. She got her like, look at her clientele, and look at her clientele. Like, look what she's doing. Like, okay, bet. I'm about to be making big moves. Like, okay. So I'm like, okay, bet. So I'm like just grinding. And mind you, I'm in New York. So, if you live in New York, you're going to grind for real. So I'm taking my classes because I'm still in school. I'm working. I'm saving my money, literally on my money. Well, not my money, but I'm literally saving to get this Airbnb. Okay. So mind you, I spoke to this lady the first time I spoke to her was in December, okay? And December of 2021. And I spoke to her, and she was like, oh yeah, da, da, da. So then I called her again late January, right? Basically the start of the second semester when I was in school, because I remember I was back in New York when I called her, and I was like, let me just call her to kind of like, reassure her and keep me in her memories, and like keep me in her mind that, oh yeah, like this girl is serious. She's going to be coming to work for me. And so I called her again. She answered, and I'm like, hey, like, it's Sunshine. I called you like a month or two ago, and I just like wanted to like reassure that I will be coming down to Atlanta. Is there anything that I need? Is there any updates? And she's like, oh, and the thing was, this time around she seemed a bit hesitant, right? Like not hesitant, but she seemed kind of like the first time I spoke to her, she was like, "Oh my god, yeah, 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 like bet, like oh my god, yeah, like I definitely want to have you come and work for me. Like I definitely want to like have that. I've been thinking about that. Da da da." This time around, she was like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, like that's great. Just let me know. But just so you know, just want to let you know, like this is like kind of like a freelance gig, so it's not like stable. And sometimes I would even go weeks like struggling and without eating, blah 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 blah. So she was basically saying like, just so you know, this is not like a traditional 9 to 5. Like this is like a freelance opportunity because I mean, yeah, like it's like her production company. Yeah, she was doing like these big things, but it's like if you're in the creative scene, if you're in the creative space, you already know how that goes. It's like it's until you can like okay, like it's something that you're gonna get consistent cash flow or consistent money coming in. You can still be doing big things, having like big opportunities, working with big brands, big people, blah 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 blah. But if you're especially when you're kind of like in the beginning stages or even like in the middle stages, it's not like that stable. It's still like more freelance. It's more based on like opportunity versus like it's consistent. But I was like, you know what, yeah, I understand, but I understand, but I definitely still want to get the experience. I definitely want to still come and work with you. So she was like, okay, yeah, just let me know when you come to Atlanta. Like, just let me know when you're in Atlanta. Just let me know. And I told her like I'm not from Atlanta, but I have family there. And she's like, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So like when you're down here, just let me know, and we'll get you on board. And I'm like, okay, bet. So like I said, throughout that semester, I was just working, saving for an Airbnb so I can have a place to stay because yeah, I knew people in Atlanta, but it was just not really looking the best. So the first Airbnb I got, it was like if not in Atlanta, it was like outside of Atlanta. And I was like, okay, bet, I got my place to stay. Place, check. I was like, place, check. Next is car. So then I checked my email and then I get a notification from the lady that is, renting out her Airbnb to me, and she's like, "Oh, unfortunately, I'm actually going to be doing home renovations, and because of that, I won't be able to host you. So I will be sending you a refund." And I'm like, "Girl, home renovation, and you already know you have a clientele." And mind you, I had probably been booked that Airbnb for maybe, I want to say, give or take 2 weeks, a week. Like it was like at least a decent amount of time for her to just be kind of like, if you're gonna home renovations, like isn't this something that you plan out for? So if it's something that you planned out, wouldn't it have made sense to block out those days that you're gonna do home renovations? And if it's something that like was after I booked it, wouldn't it have made sense to do home renovations after my stay? And I mean, I know that I didn't book for the full 3 months. I know that I booked for at least a month. So it's like, it would have made sense to at least do the home renovations when I left. So I was just like, girl. But I was like, I'm not going to argue with this lady. This is not my house. This is her property. So if she says that she can't let me stay there. Okay, so yeah, that was the first red flag, in the sense of just how this whole thing was about to go down. So then I ended up looking and looking, and I found a new Airbnb. This one was in East Atlanta, and it was nice. And I was like, okay, bet. I got the place re-secured. So then, I asked my mom. I was like, there's this car service called Turo, and basically it's basically like an Airbnb but for cars, and you basically can rent out a car for however long you need to rent it for. And so I asked my mom, I was like, okay, mommy, I got this Airbnb, but I just need your help. I really need you to help me just rent out this car. It's just for at least for a month, and then because I need, like, in Atlanta, you cannot not have a car in Atlanta. Like, it's not New York City. Okay, it's not New York City where you can go and hop on the metro. It's not where you can walk. Okay, Atlanta is, you need a car, baby. You need a car. You need to know somebody with the car. You need to be adjacent to a car. Like, you need to be near a car. You need to be around transportation. And I know Atlanta has the MARTA system, but baby, I'm like that. I'm not trying to focus on that. I want to be able to maneuver and get around the city and around the area as easily and comfortably as possible. So I was like, Mommy, please let me get a car, da da da, like rent it from Turo. And she's like generous enough to help me rent out the car. So I was like, okay, Airbnb, check. Car, check. So I was like, okay. Now the last thing was to get there. From the time that I called this lady, which was like, I want to say end of January, early February, when I called this lady, I have not spoken to her since. So let's say I talked to her end of January, February, March, April, May. Like 3.5 months have at least gone by. So I have not reached out to her since then. Because I'm like, okay, like, what is there to reach out to her for? Like, let me just get to Atlanta first and then, let her know that I'm here and then we can, like, get things in motion. Right? So fast forward to the night before I leave to go to Atlanta. This time I'm back at my grandma's house because the school year's ended and I'm about to go to Atlanta. And the night before I leave to go to the bus station, I call the lady that I'm supposed to go work for, and she's not answering. And I'm like, this is not good. This is not good because, mind you, like, just in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I should probably reach out to her. I should probably call her. I should probably, like, let her know that I'm on the way, that I'm coming. So I call her and she's not answering, and I'm just like, I was just feeling overwhelmed. And I think I even started crying. If I remember, I think I even started crying because I was just like, she's not answering and I'm about to make this big move. Like, I'm going to Atlanta. Like, I've been to Atlanta before, but I'm going there to, like, live there, like, stay there for at least the full summer. And it's like the only reason, like, the foundation of me going there is not answering. So I'm just like, hello. So I'm like, okay, like, this lady's not answering. But yeah, I remember I was even crying because I was just, like, feeling overwhelmed. Like, I was like, this lady's not answering, like, ugh. And I like, and the funny thing is, like, mentally I wasn't like panicky, but, like, just, like, my body was like, ooh, like, just kind of like, it was like a gut feeling basically. And so she doesn't answer. And mind you, this is literally the night. This is hours before I leave to go to the bus station because I know the bus was, like, early. It was, like, I think 5-6 a.m. And this is, like, maybe, like, 10 p.m. at night. So this is, like, a few hours before I get on the damn bus to go to Atlanta. So now, I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna still go through with it because I already got the Airbnb. I already got my bus ticket. I already got the fucking tour. I already got everything. So I might as well see it through, right? I get on the bus. Hours later, my grandma, my brother, they drop me off at the bus station. I get on the bus and, my merry way, Atlanta. So I end up in Atlanta, and I think it was a Saturday. Yeah, it was like a Saturday that I got there because I know it was, like, on the weekend. So I get to Atlanta and it's, like, Saturday, like, late afternoon. And I ended up going to, like, the Airbnb. And the Airbnb, it was nice. It was, like, a nice place, nice home. And I was staying there with, like, 3 other women. Like, we all had our own rooms. So we were all sharing, like, the common space, like, the kitchen, the bathroom, the living room. And it was 4 of us. But we had our own rooms. And my room was, like, in the basement. But it was nice. Like, it was, like, you could tell, like, it was newly renovated. And the owners, like, they were definitely, like, maintaining the place. So I was like, okay, bet. Like, and you know me, like, one thing about me is I need to be in a nice living area. I do not want to be in no old, dingy, hasn't been touched, maintained, like, just So I was like, glory be, this is a very nice place. So I'm like, okay, bet. And then also too, the other women, they were Black women. I was like, hey, because like, when you travel and you're in a foreign area, even as foreign as in, like, 30 minutes away, and you're like making a whole move. You want to be around people that you can at least like, okay, like I think they would at least have my back if she were to go down. So mind you, it's all women, yes, and they're all black, yes, and they're all there for their own reasons. And they're all older than me, mind you, because at the time, because this is 20, so I was still like 19 at the time. I was still 19 at the time, because no, I lied. I was 20. I was 20 because this is the summer of 2022. I turned 21 in December of 2022 because I'm a December baby. But so at the time I was still like 20 years old. I'm like the youngest one there. Everyone there is like older, like if not their late 20s, their 30s, or maybe even older. But yeah, so I was there, and I'm just there. I'm getting settled in, and I'm like, okay, let me just reach out to her. It's Saturday evening. Let me just reach out to her like tomorrow so that we can get shit popping. So I now it's Sunday. I call her, and again, still no response. Mind you, I called her before I left to come to Atlanta, right? This woman did not answer. I call her again Sunday. This woman does not answer. So I'm like, freaking. So yeah, so I call her, she doesn't answer. So I'm just like, okay. So I'm already here. I'm already here in Atlanta. Are they literally in the Airbnb? And I've got the car. I have everything. And the only thing that's missing now is like the lady responding so I can start working. And the only way that I can stay in the Airbnb, keep the damn car, hell, even put gas in the car, is if I work. And the only way I can work is if this lady responds to me and green lights me and like lets me start working. So next day it's like Monday, right? And I think I had even left her a voicemail too. So I had called her. It was like Sunday. I called her. I was like, da da da. Left her a voicemail. And so it's like Monday, and she calls, right? And when like you call somebody, but it's like an accident, so like you immediately hang up. My phone, it rang, but like it rang like once. Like it was like it like rang, but then it stopped immediately, as if like the person had called by accident and hung up. So I'm like, and it was her. So I was like, oh, hold on, girl, bring that ass. So, and mind you, like I'm on my phone, so like I see it. So I called her back like immediately, and I'm like, hey, like who is this? And she's like, oh yeah, this is Hannah. Well, I didn't say who this is. I was like, oh hi, Hannah. And she's like, oh yeah, this is Hannah. And I'm like, I've been trying to reach out to you, da da da. And guys, like this is 2 years ago, so I'm gonna try to, I don't remember verbatim what was said, but it was along the lines of, hey Hannah, like, oh, well, that's her name. Her name is Hannah, so do what you do with that. So I'm like, hey Hannah, like I'm interested in, like I'm not interested. I'm like, hey Hannah, like I'm here in Atlanta, like I'm here, I'm ready to work.
I'm ready to start working, and this is sunshine. Remember I said I was gonna come in like around like November, December. I said I was gonna come, and I reached out to you, and I'm ready to work.
And Hannah, she's like, oh yeah, hey, yeah, I'm sorry, I've just been busy. Yeah, so we're just gonna have you come in, get COVID tested, and once we get your results, like we're gonna have you start working. And we've just been here in like on set, and we're working on this really cool project, da 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 da. So I'm like, oh, okay, bet. And mind you, this is like 2022, so people, we were back outside in the sense of like things were still in motion, but this is when COVID testing is so heavy. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, she was like, oh, how soon are you able to come down here? I'm like, ASAP, as soon as possible. Like, I will come down literally at this minute, this second, this literal second. So she's like, okay, yeah, like, I'll definitely just I'll get back to you and I'll send you the information. And because she was supposed to basically refer, like, send me the information of somebody I was supposed to call so I could set up my COVID appointment, COVID testing, like all that stuff, right? And so, again, very vague information. The call was like maybe like give or take 5 minutes long, and then she never called back. Never called back. I never heard from her ever again. To this day, I've never heard from Hannah ever. Like, I'm not joking. So I'm like, okay. So the call ends. We're done. So I'm like, okay. She doesn't get back to me within the next hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm like, okay. Like, I know she's probably busy, but girl, like, it doesn't take 10 minutes, let alone 5, to send a text message. Like, she like literally didn't respond. So I'm like, okay, let me just leave it alone for today. Let me not be too pressed, which I already was. Like, at this point, desperate was literally written on my fucking forehead. Like, there was really, try not to be pressed, girl. At this point, who gives a shit? Be pressed, because you done dragged your behind all the way from home. You're in the city that you're literally on your own, and you need, the only way for you to survive is by working. And the person that is supposed to help you get paid, like, is supposed to onboard you and employ you, is literally not responding. Like, the communication is now falling short. So I'm like, okay. So mind you, we spoke like early in the morning. She didn't respond back to me the rest of the day. I'm like, okay, she'll probably get back to me tomorrow. Me being naive, right? Next day, she don't respond. Next day, she did not respond. I mean, not respond. She didn't get back to me. Next day, she did not get back to me. She did not get back to me. She did not call me. She did not text me. She didn't send me nothing. She sent me my email. And I even remember saying, too, when we were on the phone, I was like, oh, do you need my email? Like, do you need a... Yo, pause. I'm even thinking, like, you know what? Let me not even name drop. Let me not. But honestly, bump that. Like, why is it that people screw us over and it's like, oh, like, let me not say anything because, you know, who gives a fuck? Like, people be screwing you over. And I'm not talking about some, oh, they cut you off in traffic, or they talking petty shit. And I'm talking about, like, you literally knew. I spoke to you at least twice. You knew that I was coming down here to work with you, and you're ghosting me. And I'm trying to get in contact with you. I'm literally calling you back and back and back. I'm trying not to, like, blow up your phone, but I'm literally calling you. I'm reaching out to you. You don't even have the audacity to communicate with me. The bare minimum. If you, for whatever reason, change your mind, you're not able to employ another employee, you're not able, then just say that. You're better off saying something than for me to just sit there and I'm literally, like, waiting for you to talk to me. I'm waiting for you to tell me what's up. I'm waiting for you to let me know what's going on, so that way I can make the best decision from that point forward. But if I'm stuck in limbo because you're not even giving me the courtesy of being like, hey, like, unfortunately, I know I said that I was going to be able to host you and host you in the sense of, like, have you work for me and, you know, onboard you with my production company, but unfortunately I'm just not able to do that anymore because of blah 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 blah. Or even if you don't even tell me why, but you just tell me straight up, like, hey, I'm just not able to do this, then at least I know. Okay, at least I know. But the fact that you don't even say anything to me is like, damn. Like, you don't even have the courtesy to, and even you, like, calling me by accident, because it was giving you call me by accident, because I was literally right there. I literally saw my phone ring, and it literally rang for literally 0.5 seconds. So it means that you literally were like, oh shit, like, let me not, like, that was an accident. Like, you were not intending to talk to me. So it's like, you don't even have the courtesy to be like, hey, you don't even have the courtesy to be like, hey, like, I'm just, unfortunately, I'm not able to have you work for me, or this is what's going on. Like, you don't say anything. You just literally go ghost. You literally go ghost on me. And I even text, like, and mind you, like, I'm gonna, like, go on with the rest of the story because, and it's so funny. I literally saved even the message. I said, "Hey Hannah, this is Sunshine calling up to follow on the internship. Just stuck on delivered. June 3rd, 2022, 4:03 p.m. Just stuck on delivered. Stuck on delivered. Stuck on delivered." And she never responded. Like, reached out to me. She never called me. Didn't tell me about, oh yeah, like, you need to reach out to such and such so they can get your, like, you can get your COVID test. You need to meet us at this studio. And it's just like, am I supposed to hunt you down? Am I supposed to track you down? Am I supposed to stalk you? Like, no, I'm not going to do that, because you're supposed to be giving me information. You're supposed to be letting me know what's up. You're supposed to be telling me, okay, like, you need to be meeting us at such and such so that you can get your COVID test and your, you know, let me give you a tour, like, on set. Like, you're supposed to be acclimating me. You're supposed to be doing, you're supposed to be, but she never ever, that was the last time I ever spoke to her, this woman. She never called me, never texted me. She couldn't email me because I even offered to give her my email. She's like, oh no, it's okay. I'll just text you, in reference to setting up me getting the COVID test so that I can start working with her. Oh, it's okay. Just I'll just text you, bitch. You, the heifer never texted me, never called me, never sent a bird, never did nothing. And funny enough, so let's say 2 days go by, then she posts on her story, sick with COVID, and I'm putting like this because how you miraculously get COVID. And now, granted, like I said, this was still around the COVID era where it's like people were still getting it because my ass got it. But she posted on her story, sick with COVID, and I was just like, Now, if she really got it or didn't, I don't know. But all I know is, like, regardless if she got COVID, regardless if she got pneumonia, regardless if the girl got hit by a damn bus, the least she could have done was say, hey, I know you've been looking to work with me, but I just can't host you anymore. I'm just not able to do this anymore. Instead of ghosting me, right? Now, I did not, like I said, I did not talk to her from the gap of the end of January till May, till like that time that I had to literally catch her on the phone. So that 3.5, almost 4 month gap, like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if she's even still open to hosting me, work with her. But regardless if, she's able to or not, the least she could have done was tell me. The least she could have done was be like, hey, I'm not able to host you, in the sense of, like, I'm not able to have you work with me anymore, right? Simple as that. Simple. But the woman never called me, never texted, like, literally nothing. So yeah, she posted that she got COVID, and then and I was just like, and mind you, like, because the only people that I really knew that I was there for that was, like, my family. And so, like, throughout the time, like, my mom and my dad, they're like, oh, like, they were literally like, girl, just come home, just come home, just come home. And this is, like, my own hard-headedness, because, for one, get stuff in writing. This is a hard lesson learned, but especially people that are in the creative industry, get stuff in writing. This is why emails are so important. This is why even text messages are so important, because word of mouth just does not cut it. If there's one thing you're gonna learn from this damn video, is word of mouth does not cut it. Get things in writing. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter who you're trying to work with, who's trying to work with you. Get things in writing, because you at least will have proof. If you don't have things in writing, then they can turn around and be like, I never said that. I don't even know who this person is. I don't even like, easily the woman could just be like, oh, she's lying. Oh, she's just trying to stir up drama. And lady, you know damn well I'm not lying, so don't do that. But sadly, she easily could do that because I don't even have an email thread, stating like, hey, like I would like to, or even a text message thread. Because remember, I said I literally called her. Literally, our entire interaction has been over the phone, just straight up conversation. Never text, never email, nothing in solid writing. So that was my big boo hoo mistake, right? And again, I was being hard headed. And then I just kept being hard headed because instead of me listening to my parents and like, oh, just come home, like, girl, like, the woman obviously is playing in your fucking face. She don't want you. She don't want to work with you. She don't want you to work for her. Just come home. Like, you don't even have a job. You're in a whole other city. Just come home. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, she's gonna come around. She's gonna reach out to me. Me being fucking delusional. Like, oh, yeah, like, no, he wants me. He wants me. Yeah, he hasn't texted me back in like 3 weeks. But no, he wants me. He wants me. I was that delusional. So I'm like, I'm in Atlanta. I still want to like turn up, be out, be outside, socialize, network. I'm like, okay, I'm still gonna make shit shake. I'm still gonna find a way. So let me go to events. Let me try to network. Let me try to socialize because it is like what Black Hollywood they call it. Let me try to go and intermingle with people. And so, um, I was like going to like these different events because summertime people are having events that are open to the public. So I was going out meeting people, and I had even went to an event and I met this guy and he was like, oh, let's like go on a let's hang out, basically, let's hang out. And so okay, why not? And so we like a few days later we ended up hanging out. And mind you, this is all like okay, like Hannah's not responding back to me. I'm literally on my last dollar. I really should be heading back home, but I'm still choosing to be hard headed and live and stay in Atlanta. And so we go out and da da da, and then he's walking me back to the car. Remember, I said I rented out a car, and he's walking me back to the car. And as we're approaching, I could see the car, I could see the car, and I see that there's a boot on the car. And I'm like, my heart literally just sank. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, this is so fucking embarrassing. And the way I wanted to just keep on walking, because mind you, it's a busy street. It's like, because it's a festival. It's like a festival, and it's like hella people like on the street walking. And everyone's trying to go to the festival or just be around, like go to the little shops and bars that are around. So I'm like, I want to just keep on walking past like where my car is parked and act as if, oh fuck, I don't remember where I parked the car. You know what? Hey, I don't want to hold you up. You can just go back to, because we were hanging out with his friends. I was like, you can go back to hang out with your friends. I'm just gonna try to find my car but I was like, you know what? At this point, fuck it. I didn't even do all of that. I should have done it. I should have put the theatrics on, but I didn't even do that. So then we go to the car. I'm like, oh fuck, there's a boot. And I can't get the boot removed unless I pay to get it off. And the guy that is like that puts the boot, because like he was there, he was like, oh yeah, like, yeah, no, you gotta pay to get it off. And the guy that had like taken me out, baby, side note, that was not no damn date. We were just hanging out. But anyways, the guy that I was hanging out with, he was like, oh damn, I would pay for it, but I left my wallet back there. Some lame excuse. I was like, Negro, please. Anyways, so I ended up paying for the boot. It was like $75. $75, mind you. I don't have $75 to spend, let alone on a fucking boot. I was so mad. Ended up going back to Airbnb. I literally called the bank to dispute it and be like, hey, like, I think there's like a fraudulent charge. And they were just asking me too many questions that was just like, you know what, this is not even worth it. Let me just take the L and move on with my life, right? And you would think that would be like, okay, sunshine, just go the fuck home. Nope, nope, nope. Still being hard-headed. So then, like I said, I had my friend, she lived in Atlanta. And so, again, it's summertime, we outside, baby. I'm trying to be outside. I'm trying to see what's up. So we ended up going to a pool party. And we're having fun. Lit, lit, lit. And some way, somehow, this is while we're at the pool party, like my phone, like the screen went completely black, like literally black. Couldn't see jack because it was black. The screen was black. And I'm like, this ain't right. So the screen went completely black and I'm like, okay, I'm not able to see. And I'm assuming because the water went on the phone. So this is like towards the end of the pool party too. Like I noticed that my screen is like very, very, very dim. Like I can't see shit. Basically the screen went black. And so I'm like, oh fuck. And it was just kind of like finicky because I was able to drive home from the pool party to back to the Airbnb. Well, all I know is after the pool party, the screen of my phone was black. I couldn't see shit. And then you would think things just got worse. Then I ended up getting sick. I ended up getting COVID. I was sick as a mug. I was sick as hell. If you ever had COVID, you know how that shit goes. Like, literally, I was weak, no stuffy, just, like, it's not like, a cold where you can just kind of, like, play it off or just, no, baby. I was, like, sick as a dog. And mind you, I'm not with my family. I'm not with anybody that I'm close to. Yes, there's those ladies, but we're not close like that. They're not gonna, like, nurse me back to health. So I'm just, like, in my own room, like with a fucking broken phone, sick with COVID, just had to pay $75 just to get the boot off the car. I'm like, what the fuck? So in the meantime, like, okay, let me try to make do. It was very, very dim, so it was very, very hard to see. I could still use it, but it was just very, very dim. It was extremely hard to see. So I remember I had like gone to like CVS to like try to get some medicine, and I remember I was driving to the mall to go and get my phone, like go to Apple, and I went to Apple and they're like, oh yeah, we won't be able to fix your phone till Friday. So let's just say it was like a Tuesday, right? They're like, oh yeah, we won't be able to fix your phone till Friday, and I'm like, fuck. So I'm now have to stay with this black ass screen. I can't see shit. But I'm like, okay, whatever. And mind you, sick as hell, got fucking COVID. Then I'm like, and throughout that time, I'm like, let me try to at least look for a job, like something, so that way I can at least stay here, because again, I was being very hard-headed. I think it was just more so my ego. It wasn't really my pride, but it was more so my ego. Like, I'm just like, I said I was going to come to Atlanta. I said I was going to stay down here this summer. I said I was going to make the most out of it. Baby, it was giving, pack your bags up and go home. Go home. But no, I was just being hard-headed. I was just being, just hard-headed. So I'm like looking for jobs. I literally was calling up restaurants trying to like be like a server. I literally even drove to a restaurant so that they can like interview me, right? Like the pre-interview where it's like they just kind of like talk to you and just let you know what's up about the job and the position, and then like you can get like the next round of interviews. So I went to like basically like the first round of interviews. They never even called me back. I was like, damn. Literally no one was responding to me. No one was responding to me. The people that I was applying to was calling places, even going to places. I went to at least 2 restaurants in person. They never spoke to me ever again afterwards. I'm like, damn, is this Ghost City? Is Atlanta's nickname Ghost City? Because is that what y'all like to do? Ghost people? So I'm like, okay, they didn't get back to me. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm just over here trying to look for money, some sort of employment. There was even like a summer camp, like a summer camp. I'm like, oh my god, I will work there because I first of all, I was a server before. I was a camp counselor before. So I'm like, okay, I'm working in things that at least like I have experience in. The camp counselor thing, they're like, oh yeah, unfortunately for this session, this season, like we're not able to, but try again next year. I'm like, girl, by then, I'm on, no. So it was just flop. It was just flop. It was just flop, flop, flop. So then I end up, I was just like, damn. I was just like, and again, my parents were just like, bring your ass home, like come home, like there's really literally no reason for you to be there. But I was just so hard-headed. I was just so stuck in my ways that I was like, no, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make this work. Then, you know, I ended up getting my phone fixed, thankfully, and thankfully it was for free. Shout out to Apple Care. But the thing that sucked was that literally my phone restarted. Like my phone was wiped. All my pictures gone, all my contacts gone, literally everything gone. I was so upset. My notes, like literally everything gone. Everything. I was like, damn. And that message, the message of me being like, hey, that was me even reaching out to her few days, a week after everything has transpired to see if this lady is still gonna like, you know, say something at least. Obviously not. I done got the Rona. I done got a boot on my car. I done had my phone blacked out. I'm here literally in an Airbnb trying to figure out how I'm gonna pay for my next meal. This lady did not ever, again, never text me, never call me, nothing. So my phone just completely reset. I'm just like, you know what, gotta take that L. So let's see. Boot on the car, got COVID, phone blacked out, phone restarted. Okay. And on top of that, the lady that said I was supposed to work with her has ghosted me. Perfect. So in the midst of it all, I'm like, you know what? Let me just at least go to the park. Because I love to explore. That's one thing about me. I love to go out, venture out, explore, see different areas, places, so that way, you know. So I'm like, let me just go to the park. So I ended up going to this park. It's, you know, maybe like in 45 minutes, an hour outside of Atlanta. And I'm just there. Mind you, I was still sick. Like, I was not feeling too good. But I was like, let me just go out, get some fresh air. Just try to clear my mind. And I just was like, damn, what is going on? What is going on? And when I'm driving back to the Airbnb, literally, a pickup truck is right in front of me, right? You know those pickup trucks where it's like construction workers, it's like they have like the back of it is open and that's where they'll put like their construction equipment. So a pickup truck is right in front of me, driving right in front of me. And all of a sudden, the debris from this truck literally starts flying off the fucking pickup truck and coming towards me. And mind you, like I'm on the highway, so it was like for me to swerve is like risque. So I'm just like, and it just like hits the car. Now I'm like, oh my fucking god. It hits the car. Mind you, this is not my car. This is not my mom's car. This is not my friend's car. This is a rented car. This is the car I got from Turo. So I'm like, oh my fucking god. The debris from the pickup truck literally hit the car. Literally hits the car. And I'm like, oh my god. Basically, and I couldn't even get a picture of the license plate because the way I was so shook. Mind you, debris just hit the fuck out of the car. And I'm not talking about, oh, like a piece of paper. No, it's like literal like construction debris flew from the back. That's why I despise those cars. I'm like, a lot of people just do not be giving a fuck. Just be throwing shit and don't be mindful that shit can literally fly off at any given moment. But anyways, I'm like shook. I'm like, and I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to make sure I don't like do anything crazy. I couldn't get a picture of the license plate. Couldn't even do that. I ended up pulling up to the Airbnb, and the like the car, like a bottom piece of the car was like broken. It was like it had fallen off, and there was like paint splattered on the front. It was just not a good look. I had even driven to like Advanced Auto Parts to see if they could fix it, and they were like, yeah, like it's um like they were no hope. Okay, they were no hope. So I was like, damn. So I reached out to the lady that I'm renting the car from. I let her know, and she was like, oh my god, da da da. And I'm just like, lady, I don't even know. I couldn't even get the license plate. And I'm just thinking, like, damn, the lady even had like children, like she had like a baby. So I can only imagine like finding out the car that you're renting out just got totaled. Okay, maybe not totaled, but it got beat up a little bit. And I'm just like, oh my god. So at that point, that was just like, yeah, I was already sick. I was still sick, and not like, like when you're coming off from a cold and like you can genuinely no, like, let's say on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being like, oh my god, like just sick as a dog, 1 like, okay, like it's clearing up. I was like on a 4. Like I was still not feeling well at all. So I'm like, got a boot on the car, had to pay $75 for that. Phone stopped working, literally blacked out. Had to walk around with a blacked out screen for like damn near a week. Then when I get my phone fixed, I literally lose everything that's on my phone. Get in a car accident, because that is an accident, right? So debris literally hitting the fuck of the car, get in a car accident. And on top of that, I'm stranded in Atlanta. Well, not stranded, but I'm stuck in Atlanta. I'm in not even stuck. I can't say stranded because I had at least a place to lay my head. I can't say stuck because obviously I could just leave. I wasn't obligated to be there. But it's like I'm here in Atlanta. I saved up all this money to stay here, to experience working here with Hannah. Okay, not even gonna say this lady because her name is fucking Hannah. Okay, Hannah. I saved up this I saved up my money to work with Hannah. The lady fucking ghosted me. Doesn't even have the courtesy to reach out to me. And I mean, at the end of the day, I can only put the blame on her but so much because the signs were there. 1, you didn't get the shit in writing, so that's already an automatic. 2, you only spoke to her twice. The third time you spoke to her, which was hard as fuck to even reach her, she's already showing that she's playing games. She's showing that she's not serious. Even the night before you left to come to Atlanta, the woman's not responding. Your body's even telling you something not right. And then on top of that, the moment the lady doesn't respond to you, days have even gone by, but you still choose to stay in Atlanta. So it's like I can't put all the blame on her because at the end of the day, I have to take accountability. Even me honestly going to Atlanta, I have to take accountability for that. Yes, it sucks that she ghosted me. She didn't ever respond. Till this day, she has not responded to me, never said anything to me. But the fact that I just still went there, giving the signs like, hey, like, this is not something that's solid. This is not guarantee. And the fact that I still went, it's like, and I've done internships before where I've reached out to people online. And the thing with that is, at least it's in writing. On email at that. But with her, it was just through the phone, word of mouth. So I should just been like, but again, I was young, I was eager, I was naive, I was pressed, I was desperate, and that is just a recipe of disaster, okay? At that point, I was like, yeah, it's time for me to go. My parents were like, you need to come home. You need to come home. My mom bought me a plane ticket. The first ticket, Spirit Airlines. She was like, bring your ass home. I was like, yeah, you're right. Because at this point, What else is there for me to do? What else is there for me to do? I literally got sick. I literally got in a car accident. I literally got a boot. My phone literally stopped working. And I don't have money coming in. It's literally been 3 weeks. And this woman has not responded to me. What else can I do? What else is there for me to do? So I ended up going back to Maryland because that's where I'm from. And I was just like, damn. And like, I keep saying this because it's true. To this day, this lady has never responded to me. Never said anything, never reached out to me, never checked. And to be like, hey, like, she didn't know I was staying in an Airbnb, but that doesn't fucking matter. Because regardless if I was staying at an Airbnb, if I was staying with family, if I moved down, like, if I moved down there with family, like, you know, at least I'm in secure housing, still, out of courtesy, the least you could do is reach out to the person, communicate with them, and you can tell that I'm eager. You can tell that I'm excited. You can tell that I'm pressed. You can tell. So why the hell would you not, you getting COVID or not, you could still communicate. You could have still texted me. You could have asked one of your friends to say something, to reach out to me. But no, you did not say anything. So I'm like, thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the lesson. For me, I have to take accountability. For one, the whole thing could have been avoided just the night before I even got on the bus. Honestly, the woman didn't even answer me, but I'm like, I'm already in too deep. I already got the Airbnb, already got the car, and I really want to go. I really want to go. I was just being hard-headed. So yeah. So, like I said, let this be a lesson learned, y'all. If you are in the creative space, there are going to be people like that are finicky. There are people that they feel like they don't need to communicate with you because, oh well, it's not. No. And it's the same thing like a relationship, right? If that person that you like is not responding to you, they're not texting you back, they're not calling you, but you're over here making up stories in your head like, oh no, they're gonna call me back, they're gonna text me back, and it's been 3 weeks, they have yet to call you back, they have yet to text you. They still posting on their story though, they're still going out, they're still doing this, that, and the third, but they don't even have the like a minute to reach out to you and be like, hey, like, no. So the same way we talk about how people like if they wanted to they would, it's the same thing with the job. It's literally the same thing with the job. It really is. And I feel like when it comes to jobs, it's like a job is the same thing as a relationship, if we're being honest, because I mean, whether it's freelance, a 9 to 5, whatever, it's still a relationship because we're still putting in time and energy into this experience, into this phenomenon. And it was just not a good relationship at all. So it's just like, yeah, I got ghosted, and yeah. So yeah, her name is Hannah. I don't know if she will ever see this video, but just know what you did was fucked up. The least you could have done was at least say, hey, I just can't host you. Like literally the bare minimum. But again, I can only blame that lady for so much because, for one, if the woman is not even responding to me, it should have been a sign. Honestly, let's say, okay, I got to Atlanta, the woman's not responding to me. I could see she's playing games. Instead of me feeding myself delusions, I should have been like, you know what? Whatever. Let me just take the L. Let me just go. I could have avoided so much trouble. But no, I chose to be hard-headed. So trust and believe me, I definitely see my faults, my mistakes. It does not go unnoticed. I know that I made big boo-boo in this circumstance, from even just going there, honestly, without getting the information, the confirmation in writing, the whole ordeal in writing, to staying, let alone staying that damn long. Like, the minute I touched down, this lady was already acting funny. I should have been left. And it's just like things just kept progressively getting worse. It was just like, no. So, yeah. But like I said, if you are in the creative space, make sure that you are mindful of the people that you're working with or that you want to work with. Again, if there's anything, make sure you always get something in writing. Always get it in writing. Do your best to have a paper trail so that way no one can come at you sideways, because honestly I really could take this woman to court, but I can't even do that because I don't have anything in writing. So really all I get out of this is a story time and a lesson of, like I said, get things in writing. And also too, know your worth, because I was so desperate, I was so pressed, I was just like, oh my god, like I really want to work with her, oh my god, I really want to get the experience. Girl, you got an experience, all right, you got an experience, a hell of an experience. So know your worth. Know that you don't need to get sick. You don't need to get a boot on your car. You don't need to have a fucking car accident for you to be able to work for somebody who is not even responding to you. Can't even have the courtesy to be like, hey. But yeah, seriously, like, know your worth. If a job is acting very finicky when it comes to communication, whether it's a person like a person like a small business, a big corporation, whomever, they're just playing with you, and all they're gonna do is just keep stringing you along until you get the memo and hop off that ride. Okay, but hopefully this has not happened to a lot of y'all, but if anything similar to you has happened, let me know. Like, let me know what's tea. Who out here, playing with y'all? But yeah, be careful out here.